Alright guys, so welcome back to Gamer Today. Today we're going to be talking about a game called Rogue Company. You might have heard of this game last year at the Nintendo press conference, and that's kind of weird because this game is a shooting game. We don't really think of the Nintendo Switch and shooting games going hand in hand. There's not a lot of them on that system. This game is kind of cool though. It's free to play now anyway, which we're going to talk about. This game originally was kind of a pay to play, get into kind of experience, but now it's free to play altogether and has officially been released as of October 1st. Rogue Company is available to be played on almost every single platform, from the Nintendo Switch, the PS4, the Xbox, and PC. However, you can't play it on iOS or Android, at least not yet, and there's no plans for that to come to the system. Although this probably would work on basically iOS or Android. It's not that complicated, and the game really isn't that detailed. We're going to talk about the graphics and the visuals in a little bit, but what kind of game is this? Well, it's a third-person shooting game. We've seen a lot of these before. It's kind of got like special powers, or each character has their own individual unique powers, and of course you get some guns. Each character in Rogue Company has basically 3 weapons. You have one secondary, which is a mandatory weapon. You really can't get rid of that or choose a different one, and 2 primary guns, which you can choose in between, meaning you can only have 1 primary at a time. There's no way of having 2 primary weapons. However, if you do pick up another primary weapon from another player who you killed, or one of your players on your team who has died, you can actually have 2 primary weapons, which is kind of neat. You can get rid of the pistol and basically have a shotgun and a machine gun of some sort. That is kind of neat, or a rifle and shotgun, etc. So basically getting a kill and taking someone else's weapon is kind of encouraged in that way if you want 2 primary weapons, because the secondary weapons in this game are quite weak, at least until you level them up. You heard me right guys, this game has leveling up progression for weapons. However, they're all associated directly to each individual game that you're in. It's not like Call of Duty where you actually get new attachments and the gun progresses and you can make your gun stronger, etc. and you get new guns all the time. It's nothing like that guys, so if you're looking for that, this is not the game for you. Basically, it's kind of like Counter-Strike in the sense, you get money from each individual round and you could spend that money basically to level up a tier system for each gun within that game. But when you leave that game, you do not get the progression of that gun. Every time you start a game, you start out at square one. You start at the base, tier system. So each primary gun has basically 3 tiers, the first tier, the second tier, and the third tier, which each individual character and each individual gun has their own aspect of what tiers basically do. But generally speaking, these tier systems make each individual gun better in some way or another, and that's great, okay? We like that progression system. Each primary has basically 3 tiers, and a secondary weapon basically has 2 tiers. So it's quite simple and basic at that point. There's also different things you can choose from, like different grenades, etc., which are only exclusive to certain players, so depending on what character you choose, you'll have different options than other players, in some sense. Not much differences, but there will be some differences, and that's kind of interesting. There's also perks that you purchase within this game as well, and those are all within game as, basically, like I said, you purchase with the in-game currency that you make per round. So it's pretty cool. In that sense, I like it because it's kind of got an arcadey feel to it, and it's interesting. When you come into a match, there's many different ways that you can basically tackle a game, but we're going to talk about that a little bit. First off, guys, there's 3 game modes in this game, and they're pretty basic, and they're all very, very similar. The 3 modes are Extraction, Demolition, and Strikeout. However, you'll notice Extraction and Demolition are almost exactly the same thing, which is kind of boring, so there's really 2 modes to this game if you look at it from the big picture, and that kind of sucks, to be honest with you. I think that's kind of a downside. The game is very basic, but if you like the core concept of basically defending and destroying, this is a great game for you. Even Strikeout is basically the same idea without the bomb, which, yeah, does take away some of the fun for those of you guys who like to blow things up. But Strikeout is basically the same thing. Control an area, kill players. It's almost like Team Deathmatch meets kind of a capture the flag. And it's okay. Honestly, it's not bad. I do like the game quite a bit. I think there needs to be more modes, possibly. Maybe at least 5 modes would keep this game a little bit more interesting, and it wouldn't be too hard to put some new ideas into the game. Because it's a third-person shooter, guys, you can actually do some changing over the head, kind of like Ghost Recon in a sense, where you can choose the camera being on the left side or the right side of the player. So it's good for someone who's, trying to hide behind a wall, and that kind of adds to a little more strategy to the game, because I can actually utilize that camera system and kind of see who's behind that wall before actually peeping out. So I couldn't get shot, but I can see who's there. And that's kind of neat. I like that quite a bit. It's a cool system. Not very realistic in the sense of you couldn't do that in real life, but it is kind of cool. And it's worth knowing, guys, that Rogue Company doesn't have much going on in the form of customization, at least not as of yet. They came out the gate with no customization for the most part. That is a huge downer, guys. That's how a free-to-play game makes money. They do have an item store, but the item store is not very consistent, and honestly, even seeing a preview of what you're purchasing is not very good. It doesn't just render in. And that's the problem, guys. These are impulse purchases. People need to be able to see what they're trying trying to get. That's how it works in Fortnite. I can click it, I see it, it kind of attracts your attention, and that's how that game gets the success rate that it does. People always purchase skins and get all the wraps, but even that game is failing when it comes to that right now. Not failing, but like going down. At least not many people are purchasing as many skins. But in this game, you're brand new to the club, man. No one knows who you are, no one cares. But you know what? That's the whole point about this game. It doesn't really have much longevity. I don't think this game will last a very long time. I think it's a game that'll probably last a year, maybe a year or two, and no one's going to care about it in probably 2 to 3 months. If you look at the search statistics, now that the game's actually been released, no one cares about it. So it is what it is, guys. It's a kind of mediocre game. I've played so many games that are better than this, and very similar to this, if not exactly the same thing, with more modes, more customization, and better, overall gameplay. So that's the big downer here, guys. Rogue Company is nothing special. I don't think you should get excited for it, but if you're looking for something new to play, and you're playing on the consoles and you want something free to play, this could be a good game to play. But overall, guys, the gameplay is pretty darn good, to be honest with you. The graphics are not insanely great. They're pretty basic, mediocre graphics at this point, and honestly, it's a little sad that we can't get more out of this as a free-to-play game, as we see a lot of other free-to-play games are doing much more with the visuals. But this game is pretty fun. I had some issues with the zipline jumping on them. I couldn't seem to get it down, but I know a lot of other players are, so I have no idea what the heck is up with that. But that brings me to another point. The controls in this game are wonky. A little weird, to be honest. They kind of feel like a game that came from PC and just was like ported over to the consoles in like a weird way. It's kind of got that weird like idea of like, hey, L1 is your grenade button. Why is that? You're so used to R1 being the grenade button, L1 just feels weird, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, or the double tap for triangle to put the basically equip the bomb, and then to plant the bomb you gotta press another button as well. That is a little strange and kind of like a weird gimmick. I don't know why you have to do all that to place the bomb. Couldn't it not be done with one button? I don't know. I mean, we see it in Call of Duty, we see it in all these other games. Why the heck is it so weird, Rogue Company? Yeah, guys, this game is what it is. It's fun to play. I would recommend it to people looking for something new, but I wouldn't recommend it to just everybody because the game really doesn't have much to offer. It won't be here for very long, guys. We've seen it many, many times before. These free-to-play games come to market. Something like Darwin Project. I know that that game's kind of a battle royale game, but we've seen it with so many different free-to-play games. They're failing horribly. Free-to-play is a hard market to be into right now, and this game offers absolutely nothing for me to say, yes, this is going to stay alive. And it's so focused on telling you the game's name all the time. Rogue Company, Rogue Company, Rogue Company. You see it all the time in this game, and it's stupid. Okay, it's just dumb. We are not going to remember this game in about a year, or even less. Probably 4 or 5 months from now, we're going to be like, what? What game was that again? We don't care, guys. Rogue Company is going to fail. Anyways, guys, hopefully you did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of Rogue Company. Are you going to play this game? Have you played this game? And what do you think of it? Let me know in the comment section down below. Will this game survive? I don't know. You tell me. Anyways, guys, until next time, it's been Gamer Today.